This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. It's Wednesday, November 3rd, 2021. Let's talk about the news. From Reuters, Ethiopia declares state of emergency as Tigrayan forces gain ground. The Ethiopian government has declared a 6-month state of emergency after the rebel Tigray People's Liberation Front, or TPLF, announced that they had taken new territory and were thinking about marching on the capital city, Addis Ababa. The TPLF has been engaged in a civil war with the Ethiopian government since November of 2020, and they're based in the northern Tigray region, but have seen some success in other adjacent regions as well. Both sides of this conflict have reportedly committed mass killings and other war crimes against each other and civilians who happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And this conflict is contributing to and perpetuating a severe famine in the northern part of Ethiopia. This state of emergency declaration is an indication that this conflict's center might move southward in the near future, or at the very least, that's what the government fears. From the BBC News, US and EU announce global pledge to slash methane. The United States and European Union will cut their methane emissions 30% compared to 2020 levels by 2030 as part of the global methane pledge they announced alongside their own commitments, a pledge to which more than 100 countries have signed on so far. One of the unfortunate truisms of climate summits and other sorts of United Nations-ish global conferences is that it's very easy to make commitments and bask in praise, but then not live up to those commitments, as none of them have any teeth beyond potential embarrassment on the international stage. That said, this particular commitment is considered to be low-hanging fruit in the struggle to reduce the potentially quite horrible impacts of global climate change, as it mostly necessitates the tightening of a few regulations and plugging of leaks in gas pipes, which is not easy or cheap, but seeing as how it could help the world prevent an increase of 0.3 degrees Celsius in warming all unto itself by 2040, it's considered to be quite a bargain compared to the other options and efforts on the table right now. And from Axios, Facebook's plan to delete 1 billion faces. Facebook has announced it will shut down its facial recognition system and delete its catalog of face images in the coming weeks due to concerns about the potential negative impacts of facial recognition technology on society. This pivot will reportedly involve the deletion of more than 1 billion people's facial recognition templates, images, and data attached to those templates the company has been collecting and labeling since late 2010. This would seem to be part of a larger brand recalibration the company is undertaking in the wake of a flurry of bad press and regulatory threats. But it's also one more facet of a global conversation about facial recognition technologies, which are being used by some governments and corporate entities to track their citizens and customers, and which are increasingly unpopular even as they become more useful for some purposes. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com, and you can support this and other related projects like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts at understandery.com.